It's refreshing when a car's model name tells you what you need to know about the vehicle. Forget obscure references to animals or mythology. Land Rover has kept it simple with this car. It's the Range Rover Sport. A Range Rover, only sporty. Simple, isn't it? The first Range Rover Sport came out in 2005, and this model is the third generation. It's available with petrol, diesel or plug-in hybrid power, and we're testing the more powerful of the two plug-in hybrid models. It's very powerful and very, very heavy, both of which bode well for the car's towing ability. Well, we're about to find out when we go towing with that big Buccaneer back there. We'll also consider what the car is like in everyday driving. We'll have a thorough look inside the cabin, and we'll consider value for money and running costs before we deliver our verdict. For our towing test, we've matched the Range Rover Sport to a Buccaneer Barracuda weighing 1,831 kilograms, borrowed from Raymond James Caravans in Atherstone. Some cars feel immediately at home while towing, and the Range Rover Sport is one of them. That goes double if you take the time to set up the various towing modes and features, which include a towing assist system to make it easier for you to reverse with your caravan. But even setting aside those electronic features, the fundamentals of this car are just so right for towing. It seems almost impervious to crosswinds and tows with greater stability than almost any other luxury SUV. It really is a very, very stable tow car. It helps that the plug-in hybrid Range Rover Sport is extremely heavy. This model, the P550e, has a curb weight of 2,810 kilograms, which makes it one of the heaviest cars the Camping & Caravanning Club has ever tested. The towing capacity is 3,000 kilograms, which is lower than that of the diesel model, but high enough not to be an issue. In terms of power, there's 550 horsepower and 590 pounds-feet of torque. That makes for effortless overtaking and helps keep engine noise to an absolute minimum when you're towing on the motorway at 60 miles an hour. Without a caravan, the Range Rover Sport is a pleasure to drive and to travel in. Although this is the sporty Range Rover, it doesn't have the aggressive dynamic appeal of, say, a Porsche Cayenne. And to be honest, that suits me just fine. This car strikes a really good balance between comfort and control. And in fact, I prefer the setup of this car to the suspension of the regular, more expensive Range Rover. It's a very sporty but comfortable machine. With 550 horsepower, it really does accelerate very quickly indeed, but it's also extremely quiet and a really nice car to spend time in on the motorway. When you are on twistier roads, you can push this button here and select the dynamic setting. That adds some welcome extra heft to the wheel. The car corners with poise, although you couldn't really call it agile, but that's hardly surprising when it weighs almost 3 tons. Let's take a look inside the cabin. As with most modern SUVs, the Range Rover Sport has quite a minimal dash design. There are very few buttons. Most of the controls are here in this impressive looking touchscreen. Although it looks good, it can be a little bit irritating. For example, the air conditioning controls are within the screen. I'd much rather there were separate physical controls which are easier to use quickly without taking your eyes from the road. Otherwise, you sit up nice and high. The seat is very comfortable. The driving position is just fine for very long drives, just as you would hope for a car of this size and cost. You have plenty of practical touches. There's a very, very big amount of storage space here under the driver's armrest, a couple of cup holders here, wireless charging pad for smartphones, twin glove boxes, not one but two, although the door bins are quite shallow and could be a bit more generous, but otherwise it's a practical space as well as a comfortable one. So that's the front of the car. Let's go and take a look in the back. So there's lots of room in the back, as you can see. Plenty of headroom, even with this panoramic sunroof, and lots of leg room too. So even very tall adult passengers will be very comfortable in the back. Now, something that you might not be expecting is electronic adjustment in the back seats. So you can adjust the angle of the backrest, lean back for a quick nap, or sit up if you find that more comfortable. There are separate controls for the air conditioning in the back. In fact, you can have different temperatures on either side in the back of this car. You've got air vents between the front seats and above the rear seat passenger's head, so you should be at a comfortable temperature whether it's hot or cold outside. Now, there are cup holders hidden within this armrest, which you can use if you're travelling with 2 rear seat passengers rather than 3. It's nice the way they fold out there. And you certainly won't be bored if you opt for this entertainment package that's fitted to this car. You get these twin screens. But even a millionaire surely is going to think twice about spending £3,700 on a couple of screens in the back of the car. Just bring your own tablet computer and buy a mount from Halfords, wouldn't you? Even if you've got pots of money. Anyway, that's the back of the car. Very luxurious, very comfortable. Let's check out the boot. So, as you're about to see, there's lots of space for luggage. These bags contain the charging cables, and they do take up a bit of space, but of course you don't have to take those with you if you don't want to. One thing you do notice is that the boot floor does sit quite high, even by the standards of a large SUV. However, there is a solution. Because this car is fitted with air suspension, you can use these buttons to lower the back of the car, and it just brings the back down a little bit closer to the floor, makes it easier to lift heavy items in and out without straining your back. There are other buttons here, as you'll notice. So there are buttons to lower, fold the rear seats to give you extra luggage space if you need it. There's also the button for the drop down tow bar. Press that twice and the tow ball should appear. It's a £1,130 optional extra, and the maximum download is 120 kilograms. If you are in the market for a luxury SUV, then paying over £1,100 for a tow bar is unlikely to give you pause for thought. However, the Range Rover Sport is very expensive, even compared with other upmarket SUVs. Our test car has a list price of around £114,000 and came with £19,000 worth of options fitted. A BMW X550e is better value. There's also the nagging worry of Land Rover's poor reputation for reliability. Running costs will be low for such a rapid SUV though. This model has an all-electric range of nearly 70 miles. The Range Rover Sport is an exceptional car, but so it should be at this price. It's out of reach for most of us, let's be realistic, and there are other upmarket SUVs that have most of the Range Rover Sport's ability, but they're better value. However, if you do have the means, the Range Rover Sport is an exceptionally good tow car.
When you've watched the video, please do subscribe to the Camping and Caravanning Club's channel if you haven't already. Click on the notification button and you'll never miss any of the club's tow car, caravan, camping and motorhome content. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to click on the thumbs up button to like it and let us know what you think in the comments.